Good evening, Michel.
Hello, Harley.
You've been working now with the Luca Chamber Orchestra for 4 days, preparing for tonight's concert of Mozart and Schubert. How's it gone?
Well, it went great. I think we had a wonderful week. We started last Sunday rehearsing at every day 2 rehearsals. Quite tough work because, of course, it's not easy music. It's chamber music. It's like a chamber orchestra. It's different than a symphony orchestra. But they did great. We worked very hard. No one ever played one of these pieces before. So it's like working on a new page actually for everyone. So it was a challenge, but I think we did well the whole week. We worked very hard.
When you're not here in Belgium, you are the principal conductor for the Royal Bangkok Symphony Orchestra. What's the difference for you when you're conducting young musicians versus seasoned professionals?
Well, it's about speed. Generally, there's a big difference in speed. Of course, when you work with Royal Bangkok Symphony Orchestra, they're not so old. I mean, general age is quite young too. But okay, they have more experience. So like these kind of programs, you could manage there with 4 rehearsals and get it in a good shape. So it's basically the difference is speed, how you can get it faster ready. For the rest, there's really no big difference. I mean, when you have, of course, the very old orchestras, which I conduct also mainly like old German orchestras, you can do this program with, let's say, with 2 rehearsals and get that level because everyone knows the pieces. Then it's only a matter of interpretation, what I want to do with it, and they will get it very fast, very quick. Here I have to work on technique too, so that's different.
Yeah,
with the big professional orchestras, you don't have to work on technique.
Most academies have young aspiring conductors of their own. Why is it so important for young musicians to have the chance to work with an international conductor such as yourself?
I would not say that young conductor is always a bad thing to work with because they're generally very well prepared. They really have to prove they do something, and they generally take more risks in interpretation because they want to prove their individual capacities and their thoughts about music. With an older conductor, experienced conductor, probably the older conductor brings a lot of experience and he's more realistic in what can be done or what cannot be done. So probably the result with an older conductor will be better than with a very young conductor. But it could be sometimes more exciting to work with a very young conductor. So I would not say it's better or worse, one or both, but I think it's completely different. And I try to give them my experience with the pieces, which I did before, which are where I know these are the problems, this can happen, this take care for this or that. So I think they will, at the end, probably they will get a better result.
I noticed also in your style you do a lot of storytelling, especially when I was setting up the recording equipment stuff, and they seem to really feed off the stories because they were like real things that have happened to you.
I try to avoid too much stories because you lose time with too much stories. But sometimes when there's a moment of changement of stage, it's better to tell a story than to wait until nothing happens. So, and they like it sometimes because sometimes the stories are sometimes inspiring. Sometimes they say your stories are boring, but it depends a little bit how inspired I am myself.
I think they enjoyed it very much. Can you remember the first time you ever conducted an orchestra?
I was not a conductor when I did it the first time. So I was as a coach for the Winds on tour in Italy with the Flemish youth orchestra, but not this one, but it was the Flemish from the province of West Flanders. And the conductor said, which was Robert Grolot, by the way, which is famous musician, conductor, composer. And he said, I want to play tonight Tchaikovsky piano concerto, and you're going to accompany me. I said, I never did an orchestra. He said, I will follow you, don't worry. So, and we played it, and we did a wonderful performance of Tchaikovsky piano concerto. That was my first conducting, and that's how it started.
And that's changed your life then? That moment you made that decision to switch from being a principal trombone player and into conducting?
Well, it took a while before I did the switch, but it got anyway in my head immediately after that might be something for me too. So it's.
What was it? What's the big why for conducting interpreting rather than performing, if you like?
Well, I was trombone player, which is a very interesting instrument, but of course you're not in charge of what happens on stage. You're only in charge on the dramatic moments, and so for me it was like a kind of a challenge to do something new, but it's not my real choice. I rolled into it basically, so it's but I'm happy I rolled into it because now I enjoy it very much.
Amazing. Thanks very much indeed for your time, and good luck this evening in the concert. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Harley. Thank you very much.